Okay, if you'll flip to page 62 in your spiral, we will pick up in Unit 3. So in Unit 3, we're still looking at zeros and what those entail and what they are. So what we're going to do on this first one, it says, determine if x minus 3 is a factor of this polynomial. Check by using another method. So we know that we can set x minus 3 equal to 0, and we can solve. So we get x is positive 3. So we're going to do 1, negative 11, 5, and 3. I put my 3 out front. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, and add. Because we did not get 0, so no, x minus 3 is not a factor because when we do p of 3, it's not equal to 0. So given that we have this next polynomial, it says completely factor, given that x minus 1 is a factor. So that means we put a 1 out front. We do our synthetic division. I should get 0 because they told us it was a factor. So this is remainder constant x squared. Then we want to factor this. So you have to use your AC method. And what multiplies to get 12, that adds to get a 7 is a 4 and a 3. So I'm going quickly through this because you should be a pro at factoring by now. So 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 6. I do factor by grouping. Your factor should match, so this factors 2x plus 3, x plus 2, and then you include the factor from the beginning, x minus 1. So this is the factored form, and those factors could be in any order. So you could have x plus 1 first, then x plus 2, so they can be in any arrangement. On the next page, if you look at this chart, I'm going to kind of work through a couple of these. So notice you have different columns. The first column is it's in polynomial form. We find the zeros in the middle column. The factored form is, if you look at that second row, the p of x. So kind of working through a few of these. We're not going to work through all of them. If you look at the first one, and we're going to factor this, that you see that they have an x in common. And then we can factor the polynomial x squared minus 14x minus 15. What multiplies to get a negative 15? That adds to get negative 14 is negative 15 at 1. So that is the factored form. So that actually, I'm going to go ahead and write this over here for factored form. And then to find the zeros, you set the factored form equal to 0. So you have x is 0, 15, and negative 1. If you look at, let's go ahead and skip down to example 8. You have the 3 zeros, so it's actually easier if you go ahead and write the factored form first. So we're going to have x minus the square root of 2, x plus the square root of 2, and it says that the multiplicity of 2 with our 0, so you're going to have x to the second power. So this is our factored form, and then if you were to go through and FOIL that out, that would give you the polynomial form for the first column. So if we do that, we get x squared. A negative times a positive is negative, and a square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is just 2. And then we can distribute that through, and we get x to the fourth minus 2x squared. And that would be the polynomial form. So some forms are more helpful than others in certain scenarios. Looking at the bottom one, you have these 3 zeros. So I'm first going to do that part and do the factored form. So x minus 2, x plus 1. If you remember from first semester, we talked about that they didn't want x minus a third. So it would be 3x and then minus 1. And you may say, whoa, how did you do that? If you take the number x equals 1/3, you're going to multiply the 3 to the other side, subtract the 1. There's your factored form for the 0 of x equals 1/3. Now it does say that it passes through the point of 1, -8. So we don't know if our a value, we don't know what that value is. So what we need to do is we need to plug in the -8 for the y. We don't know what a is, but we know that 1 is x. So plug 1 in for those x values. And then we're going to simplify. -1. 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have -8 equals -4a. A is going to be +2. So our factored form would be 2 times the quantity x minus 2, x plus 1, and 3x minus 1. Okay, looking at page 64, we're going to look at this top paragraph. It says every function defined by a polynomial of degree 1 or more has at least one complex 0. Okay, so consequences of the fundamental theorem of algebra. A function defined by a polynomial of degree n has at most n distinct complex zeros. It can be expressed as linear factors, so in factored form, what we were doing earlier. And then we know it occurs in conjugate pairs. So the conjugate of 1 plus 2i is 1 minus 2i. If you had radicals, if you had the square root of 2, its conjugate would be negative square root of 2. So remember, you change that sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through this whole process. So if you flip over to the next page, so we're looking at finding the first real zero. So you have your p's over your q's. Remember that your p value is the constant. Your q value is your leading coefficient. So when you have to list all your p's over your q's, the p value in this question is -2. Your q value is 3. So we list all the factors of -2, which are 1 and 2, and all the factors of 3, which are 1 and 3. And then we make that list of taking all of these numerator values over all the denominator values. So we're going to have positive and negative 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 1 over 3, and 2 over 3. This is where we could go ahead and do synthetic division 2, 4, 6, 8 times, but we know that that's not realistic and that's too much of a time-consuming task. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your calculator. You're going to type in this function. And this is where we look to see where does it cross the x-axis. So if we go to our calculator, you could also go to your table. So you're going to find from your calculator that it does intersect the x-axis at 1/3. Okay, that is one of your zeros. This is a cubic polynomial, so we're going to need 3 solutions. So we're going to verify using synthetic division that that's 1/3 is exactly a 0. So we should get 0. Whoops, I did that wrong. That needs to be a 3. 1, -12. -12 divided by 3 is -4. It's a 6. 6 times 1/3 is a 2. And we get 0. So the quotient is 3x squared minus 12x plus 6. Now what we need to do is we need to find the zeros. So we're going to try to factor it. If it doesn't factor, we'll use quadratic formula. So we see that these three terms have a 3 in common. So I'm going to factor out a 3. I would always try to factor it if you can. This question will not factor. There's nothing that multiplies to get a 2 that adds to get a -4. So we do our quadratic formula. Hope to goodness gracious you remember the quadratic formula in that silly song we sang. So write it down somewhere. So x equals the opposite of b, so that'd be +4, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. And I'm using the smaller numbers. I'm using the 1 as an a value, the b is a -4, and the c is a 2. 2 times 1. So I simplify. I end up getting 16 minus 8 here, so that's 8 over 2. Reduce your radical. The square root of 4 and the square root of 2, which is 4 plus minus 2 square roots of 2 all over 2. And we see that they all three have a 2 in common, so we divide the 4, the 2, and the 2 divided by a 2. So our solutions, the zeros are the 1/3 from the synthetic division, 2 plus the square root of 2, 2 minus the square root of 2. Then writing this in factored form, we'd have x minus 2 plus the square root of 2, x minus 2 minus the square root of 2, and then we would have 3x minus 1, like the one that we did earlier, where we know that we need to set x equals 1/3 equal to 0, multiply that over, and we get 3x equals 1, subtract that over, 3x minus 1 is 0.